episode 69 of WCRD Radio. I'm your host, Witch Bess, and today's interview is with the magical Mia of NEWTs. Before you get to hear about rock life in Wales, I want to remind you that I have 2 giveaways on for WCRD's 3rd birthday. You can get the details on the pinned post on the website, which I'll also link in this episode's transcript. But you have 2 ways to win a pack of WCRD merch: donating to the LeakyCon Community Fund or filling out the giveaway form. I'll be announcing the winners on April 1st, so you've got a couple weeks to take care of that. Here's some music to keep you company while you enter those. This is Catherine Haas and Hermione Granger's Not a Transphobe.
Hermione Granger's not a transphobe because she's felt the stinging hurt of slurs cast against her on the Quidditch pitch. Biology determining her worth. McGonagall is not a transphobe. I mean, she's kind of trans. Why'd you make her the transfiguration teacher who can turn into a cat? If you don't like that people can change like magic, bodies rearrange to match it, the picture inside the frame, but the frame's all you see. Nymphador's not a transphobe, no, she's gender fluid as hell. Lupin's gray, gay. They work surprisingly well, 'cause people can change like magic, bodies rearrange to match it, the picture inside the frame, but the frame's all you see. You taught us to stand up for the oppressed. You taught us that no one should be considered less, but that spirit that spoke to you's gone, or you're listening less. So we're taking it back. Hogwarts is ours now. Hogwarts is ours now. Dementors circling, but they can keep out. They can keep out. Hogwarts is ours now, yeah. Hermione Granger's not a transphobe. She tried to free house elves from slavery. Don't think she'd care which bathroom they would piss in. She'd just say, watch out for the 2nd floor lavatory. And you were like her once, but now you're so out of touch. You don't know people can change, and it's magic, bodies rearrange just to match it. The picture is not the frame, but the frame's all you see. You're missing a world of magic. Oh, together for 30 years. We'll take it from here. We're magic. We're magic. We're magic.
Looking out this dirty old window, down below the giant squid and the lake is floating by. I sit here awake and I wonder why. The old ball and everyone's moving. I can feel the beat and it's true that we're headed down. We search for some cities down this dirty town.
shack, we've changed, it's done, can't go back. Wandering together, nothing was better. We were young and free, 3 plus me, the best time. And now I find all I used to regret, but now I won't forget those nights with the full moon. age. We are so young, we should be having fun. Like sneak out to the shack, we've changed, it's done, can't go back. Wandering together, nothing was better. We were young and free. 3 plus me, the best time. And now I find, oh, I used to regret, but now I won't forget those nights with the full moon. The full moon. I thought I had you back, but there was a catch. It never was the same, and there's no one left to blame. But now you're all gone, and I know I won't be long behind. So one more time, let's sneak out to the shack. We've changed, it's done, can't go back. Wandering together, nothing was better. We were young and free. 3 plus me, the best time. And now I find, oh, I used to regret, but now I won't forget those nights with the full moon. The full moon. The full
You just heard Catherine Haas and Hermione Granger's Not a Transphobe, Students at Hogwarts by Catchlove, and Losing Lara singing Full Moon. I hope you finished that giveaway form. Here's my interview with Mia of NEWTs. And today I am talking with Mia from NEWTs. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
I am particularly excited about this because we've been talking a little bit off and on for like a year or two now through the Discord and TikTok, and I have been excited to watch your music develop.
Yeah, I've been so excited to come on because I released Harry My Son as like a kind of like ghost track back in 2020, and you messaged me to say, can I put it on my podcast? And I was so excited to be sort of like engaged within that way about music that I'd made. So it was like a real treat when I found out I could come on the podcast and talk to you. I was really excited about that for the album coming out.
I remember, I think it was Jeff from Dreamquaffle that was like, Mia from NEWTs is at LeakyCon. And I was like, oh, she's here.
I didn't know that like people knew about the song or like anything like that. So it's just so amazing to be seen in this community of people that I think are making such amazing music, and like I've created something really great between them. And it's just something I've been like dabbling with, and like one of the songs that I wrote maybe 10 years ago, and yeah, it's just something that I've been wanting to do for so long and just didn't sit down and do it until a couple of years ago.
So I jumped ahead a bit there, but I do usually start these conversations with learning more about your history with Wizard Rock.
So I got into Wizard Rock when I was about 16, 17, I probably a little bit before, because I'm nearly 30 now. I don't tell anyone. Yeah, I was listening to, I think it was, you know, when all of the things like Potter Puppet Pals came out, like I was listening to that and found like Star Kid and all of these people who were creating content about Harry Potter, but without the kind of, without it being official, and like parody and going into more of that. And then a friend of mine sent me, and I'd heard like the song Axio Love, which was probably the first rock song that I ever heard, and really liked that, but didn't know much about the community. And then a friend of mine sent me a whole album by Oliver Boyd. And when I was 17, or maybe I was just 18, I just started driving, so we don't drive here till we're 17, and I got it as a CD to put it in my car, and I just listened to it everywhere. I listened to it over and over and over again, and I fell in love with it, and I still listen to Oliver Boyd's albums all the time in my car, and that is kind of my history with it. And I felt like, okay, a couple of years later, I felt like, oh, maybe I'll try and write one. So I wrote one when I was in my first couple of years of university, and then put it on YouTube because it was done at an open mic night. And I think I've told this story in the Discord, but Lauren Fairweather commented on it, and it said something like, oh wow, I love this, or something like that. And I met her in 2013, just like as a meet and greet. Didn't know that at that point that she'd commented on this video, and saw it in 2020 and was like, oh my god, if somebody like that can think that what I've made is actually worth listening to, then maybe I should just give this a go. And that's when I wrote the rest of the album. So that's like a little 1 to 100 in my history of Wizard Rock.
Pretty incredible that Lauren can inspire a decade later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think she's got that power.
I always like to find out, strictly because I'm always curious, how you came up with your band name. We know that like the early bands are always character and the characters, almost always, and lately it's been more abstract. Where did NEWTs come from?
I think the idea of having the something and the somethings always to me felt like something you do as a band, and I was very much just me. And when I saw, I felt more confident in my choice as NEWTs as I saw people like Bisexual Harry and Dream Quaffle. And when I saw that's what they'd gone with, I was like, right, NEWTs is totally fine. But it first came to be because I had a Tumblr back in like 2013, 2014 Tumblr. Lots of people were putting dashes in their names, and I still have this Tumblr handle today, and it's what my Bandcamp is like n-e-w-t.s. And I thought it was really cool, and it was only afterwards that I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, we've got Newt Scamander, not that it's anything to do with Newt Scamander, but it obviously works as a name, and I thought it was cute, the like visualization of a newt, so I went with it. Also, in Harry Potter, the obviously the NEWTs, it's about the NEWTs, and that time in my life, maybe not for a lot of people, but A levels for me was a great time in my life when I was 16, 17, and it has a bit of a callback to when I first got into Wizard Rock. So I thought it was a great like name for me, perfect for me, really.
It sounds perfect.
Thank you.
You were in, was it Wales? Somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, so I'm based in Cardiff. So if you've ever watched Doctor Who or Torchwood, I am in Torchwood Town. That is exactly me. I've lived here my whole life. So I'm mixed heritage. So I've got an Indian dad and a Welsh mum, but both born in Wales, and yeah, very much a Welsh girl. And Wales is on the map these days with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney with owning Wrexham football. So if anyone knows about that, then
I am familiar with Torchwood, not so much with the football clubs.
It's a weird one, basically. Yeah, Rob McElhenney, who wrote and does Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Ryan Reynolds, they bought a football team in North Wales. And so we now get a lot of publicity about it, but perhaps that's just a UK thing.
That's fun. Well, I know John Green part owns a soccer team in the UK somewhere, so this must just be a trend.
Does he? That's so interesting.
Pretty sure he owns part. Nerd Fighters do some sponsoring there. But mostly I was curious, What is it like being into wizard rock in Wales?
Generally, it's hard. So I was talking to about it with my friend who is helping me make the album. Like they're my kind of like I was listening to your podcast with Lauren and how she was saying that like she gets other people to like record on it, and I do it kind of differently. I'd kind of bring the song to him. So it's become a kind of band that's not me, because I'm writing the words, but he's all like I have, and he's not part of the fandom. So it's been quite difficult being in Wales and being so removed from it all, because we were talking today about how we wish we could just go and tour or go and meet up with people, but it costs a lot of money to obviously get to the States. But that would be the goal, really, would be to come and like tour with some people or get to play live. It'd be amazing. But I'm also kind of used to it, because I'm somebody who's in the UK, country music isn't a thing either, and I also really love country music, so I'm just kind of used to it at this point.
I hear that a lot, that despite the UK being the literal birthplace of Harry Potter, the fandom in wizard rock in particular is a lot more fragmented and isolated than it is here in the US, where it's just a big community that we can all get to comparatively easily.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because I've been like looking at lots of different aspects of the fandom recently, and we definitely interact with it in a completely different way than the States. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I guess maybe it's like, for us it's more ingrained, it's really ingrained in the culture, like you can't go to a historical building or somewhere without someone saying, "Oh, we filmed part of Harry Potter here." Or like for me, being in the film industry myself, there's people I meet every day that worked on the Potters. And so it's like, for a lot of us here, I think it's a lot more grained into sort of a lifestyle than it is a kind of a community, which maybe makes it slightly more fragmented, because we're not coming together to celebrate something. It's just sort of something we see and then we move on.
That's really interesting. I hadn't thought about it that way, but that makes sense. You mentioned liking country music, which feels like a very good lead-in for the next question, which is, how would you describe your wizard rock style? Is it the same to any Muggle music you do? Is it different?
I like to think that do you know what? I think it's probably most a bit more like Taylor Swifty, to be honest. I think that was when I picked up a guitar at 13, 14 years old and had no idea how to play it, and I've still never had a lesson to this day. I just sort of, that's what I was listening to, so that's what I was writing about. A lot of it's like 4-chord song or whatever. But I think I get a lot of inspiration from different people. So if I listen to a lot of country music, I think some of the songs on the album have come out a little bit more country, and just because that's sort of where my brain is at the time. But like I said, I listen to a lot of Oliver Boyd as well, so that's had a massive influence. So it's kind of a mishmash of all those things, kind of singer-songwriter. But I'd love to be able to do just different genres. Like if I could do a rap song, I would love it, just for fun. It'd be so fun. But I would have no idea where to start with that.
There are some really good wizard rockers you could collab with to make that happen.
Yeah, I definitely want to look into a lot more like collabs and stuff like that. I've just I sent Bisexual Harry off a song to be on their compilation album for Weird, which is like still kind of in my style, but a bit slightly different than what I would normally write. So there is that as well. So I'm starting to get more into the community and trying to do these compilation albums, and maybe the next album will be all collabs. Who knows?
That would be awesome. I would love to hear that. My patrons were wondering, are there characters that you find particularly easy to slip in their heads, or are there some that you can't figure out their perspective, but you try to write from anyway?
I was having a good think about this question, because I've always, to begin with, I found it the most easy to write from Harry's point of view, because I think Harry gets a lot of hate, and he's a really interesting character, because he's so black and white about everything. Like, this man has has no nuance. He hasn't got a nuanced bone in his body. And I love that about him, because it's really easy to get into that space and just sort of feel like, especially like the album coming out is called The Battle, and a lot of what he went through in the 7th book, it really speaks to me, and that's where I took a lot of inspiration from. But as I've gone on writing more and more songs, I really like writing the kind of maybe morally grey or just a little bit more nuanced characters. Like there's a song in there for Petunia, who is, like a terrible person. But I wanted to be able to, in this album specifically, I really wanted to be able to write from maybe a fanon perspective, a lot of characters. So yeah, like there's a lot of fanon that loves Petunia and where she came from, and that's kind of where I'm going with that song. There's a song that I'm going to play later, which is very much in a fanon Draco wheelhouse. So any of these characters that are like morally grey might be somebody who I don't agree with, or I don't like have a great sense of joy about their character, but I love finding that part of them that is redeemable, which it isn't always a great thing, but I just love a redeemable character.
Now, to be fair to Harry, being morally black and white is a very adolescent perspective, I think.
Yes, I would agree with you there. Absolutely written from the perspective of a teenager. I was saying earlier, me and my husband have been listening to the audiobooks read by Stephen Fry, and we were going through the 5th book, and he'd never experienced them from that perspective before, and was just like, why is Harry so moody? He's so moody all the time. Like, where's this angst coming from? I was like, he's just 15. Like, he's just being Harry. But I love that about him. I think he's such a great character.
Yeah, between, the hormones of adolescence and, incredible trauma that is his existence, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, totally.
It might be annoying to deal with, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Do you know there's a character I don't have one written from the perspective of, and that's Ron. So I guess if I had to pick one that I found really hard to write from, it would be Ron, because he's such a different person to me. Like, that character is very, very, very different than how I see myself, but I'm working on it. I'll get one out there at some point.
I have so much sympathy for Ron, because part of being a teenager is making colossal mistakes and hurting feelings and figuring out how to be a better person. And like, no one wants to admit that that's part of just developing and being human. So it's much easier to just be like, oh, Ron sucks, than like, oh, Ron, oh no.
No, he's just a kid. Yeah, he's just a kid, and like, he's like the antithesis of Draco, which is like one of my favorite things about him. He's like got none of the stuff that everyone perceives you should have from the outside, but all of the stuff that you need to make you a good person inside, which Draco is like got the complete opposite. And it's just such a, he's had a kind of lovely childhood, Ron, which is such a nice thing. He's such a great character. It's just, when someone's lovely, what do you say? Sometimes you need a bit of angst to get the music out there.
I am fascinated by this concept of Draco and Ron as foils for each other. I need a much smarter podcast than mine to do an analysis of this. I love that.
I feel like I've definitely not started something, but maybe reawoken something that some people are going to be on AO3 tonight. I read a lot of Drowry though, so I'm very much in that. I'm in that wheelhouse.
That is a popular one.
No, I don't know what it is. I think sometimes it's like sometimes the writing's just phenomenal. That's what I found about Drowry. I think when I got into fanfiction, I read a lot of, because I was a kid, when I first got into it, and I was reading a lot of like Hermione and like all of these, and like Harry, Ginny, like really, like just canon compliant. And it's only been like the last, when I got a little bit older, that I was like, actually, the Drowry writers, there's some phenomenal writers that are now just authors that have written Drowry, and I probably need to branch out. But damn, if I'm a sucker for the trope. What can I say?
No shame. They are excellent. Read what makes you happy. Let's have some music here. First up is I Found a Loophole by the Whomping Willows.
You're seriously a tease just for existing close to me. My curiosity keeps me in captivity. You're gonna make this tree a slave to pure insanity. 5 years it's been since we first met. Now you're kicking it with house cells and you're every teacher's pet. But to you, a tree is just a tree. What would it take for you to wake up banging next to me? Oh girl, I'm a rock star, and not just any rock star. I'm a wizard rock star, and I rock out in a human body. So Hermione, I found a loophole. Why don't you come and check out one of my rock shows? I'll take you to the after party. You can get familiar with my human body. Hermione, I hope it's clear to see. My muggle form is waiting for the moment when we're dating. We'll crash the scene, I'll treat you like a queen. We'll be like Romeo and Juliet, except we won't be dead. 5 years it's been since I first set my lonely eyes upon you. Now I'm finally breaking through. So what do you say? Let's run away, leave everything behind. We'll rock until the end of time. 'Cause girl, I'm a rock Sometimes I miss being at Hogwarts. The ministry just suits me so much better these days. For now, unemployed as an aura, trying to make those Death Eaters go away. We all lost people we love at the Battle of Hogwarts. We need to do what we can to stay strong. Growing up is what I'm worst at, and we're not so different that way. Growing up is what you're worst at. I know that we'll get it right someday. Sometimes I hate doing magic, but Mug Studies wasn't my best subject in school. I was better at transfiguration, charms, potions, and apparitions. I still feel I've got a long way to go. I'm always finding these magic ways to get myself through these murky days. Growing up is what I'm worst at, and we're not so different that way. Growing up is what you're worst at. I know that we'll get it right someday. Sometimes I miss being at Hogwarts. Ministry just suits me so much better these days.
Where in the heck is platform 9 3/4? In this wizarding world, I feel like a foreigner. 11 years in this muggle land, then Mrs. Weasley shows up and lends me a hand. Then I walk through a brick wall. So now I'm hopping on the Hogwarts Express. To become a great wizard is my ultimate quest. But before I can turn a rock to a jewel, I have to go to wizarding school. Hogwarts, here I come. I'm making my way in this wizarding world. And things will never be the same. I'm making my way. And everything's gonna change. As I step off the train, I spot Hagrid from a mile away. This has been a most amazing day, and it can only get better at the rate we're at. Now it's time to put on the sorting hat. Oh, sorting hat, please not slither in anything but Slytherin. I'm making my way in this wizarding world. And things will never be the same. I'm making my way. And everything's gonna change. I'm making my way, I'm making my way in this blizzardy night. And things will never be the same. I'm making my way, I'm making my way. And everything's gonna change.
That was I Found a Loophole by the Whomping Willows, Growing Up Magic by This Is My Nightmare, and Platform 9 3/4 by Weezard. I Found a Loophole is dedicated to Danny by WZRD's magical patron Jeff. They're thanking Danny for being a friend and a perfect panelist pal at Literary Inc. Keep creating magic. What is it that draws you to Wizard Rock? What makes it fun?
For me, when I'm listening to Wizard Rock, it's a form of escapism listening to it, but writing it is probably my biggest form of escapism that I have. I think it's one of the only creative outlets that I have left that I don't associate with work. Like, I work in like an arty environment with actors every day, with directors, all of that, and it's the one of the few things. Music is nothing to do with what I do in my daily life, and it's just drawn me in because it's something that I already have an incredible wealth of knowledge about. It's the Harry Potter universe. So being able to do what I love and write music, but about a subject that I don't have to really think too hard about, and I don't have to awaken anything in myself. I'm using a character's trauma that allows me the kind of escapism to be able to have a creative outlet, but not have it be too deep, if that makes sense.
I think so. A lot of people really enjoy being able to play in the space to process things or to avoid things.
Yeah, I've definitely used and called upon things that have happened to me in my life and experiences I've had to write Wizard Rock, and that's absolutely part of it. But then another day I might sit down and it might not make the album, or it might not make it anywhere off the page or even out of my living room, but I'm just singing about the Sorting Hat or something, and that's the fact that we've got so many different avenues that we can go down in the wizarding world. I think is my biggest thing about Wizard Rock. We have such a wealth of information at our fingertips to talk about, and that's why I think I'm drawn to it.
For other people who may be drawn to it, as I think you'll have a really interesting perspective on this as someone who's been writing the music for a decade, but only just now getting really involved in the community, what is your best recommendation for newcomers to Wizard Rock?
Well, I've heard a lot. I think the biggest one that I hear from everybody in this community is just do it, just write it. And I hear that so often, and that's really inspired me. So I definitely think what that's done is allowed me to feel like I'm on the right track. So when they're like, do it, I'm like, right, I just need to get this done. But I also think it's really important to just, like, if you enjoy it, just, you don't have to make it for anyone else. If you want to just make it for you, then that's totally fine. If you just want to record it on your voice notes, and then if you want to join, I definitely recommend joining the Facebook group and the Discord. But everybody's just so nice. You could just be like, oh well, I've got this thing, and I've just a voice note. But if you want to listen to it, that would be great. And I think that would give a lot of people confidence if they thought, oh, maybe there's just one, or just lyrics, just even writing down lyrics or a tune, and just asking the other people in this like really good community what they think of it is something that, yeah, I think that's what I would recommend. Just do it, but like in your own way.
I'd like to promote two very good opportunities for newcomers while we're talking about it. The How Weird Can You Get comp, I believe, is still accepting submissions through the end of this month. So if you're like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, this is for you.
Yeah, definitely get on that. I've done it. So you'll be in good company, and Bisexual Harry, who's running it, they're fantastic. So just drop a line and see what you can do, because I think with this particular compilation, like, anything goes.
And the second thing is that the Yes All Witches grant has extended their submission deadline to the end of this month as well. So if you're like, oh, I really wish I had recording software or a better microphone or someone I could email at all hours of the day and be like, what does this button do and why am I doing it wrong? Apply. It's partly funded by this podcast and is truly an incredible resource that I strongly recommend you apply for.
That's just such a good example of like the wonderfulness of this community. So I didn't realize that it was sponsored by your podcast. It's a fantastic opportunity for anyone who wants to get into music. Like I said, I've got no background in music, and it's just get out there. It's fantastic.
Now, my listeners know I like to get some technical advice on the best way to learn something new with the guitar, how you do your optimal recording, the trick you never knew you needed in the software, just whatever might give them that little extra boost.
So I was saying a bit earlier that I work with a guy called David who goes by Araby online, if you want to look him up. But he's very technical. We went to university together, and I was doing film and he was doing music. So as you can imagine, he has all the technical knowledge and I have none. So the biggest advice that I can give you in a kind of technical way is I found it really, really useful. And this is probably super basic, but just laying down your ghost track and just making sure that you've got that you don't have to be 100% happy with something, and then you can build around it, and then you can build back on it, and you can go back and you can redo that other layer. And like that's probably something that I've really learned with this process, is just being able to layer your music. And it's fine to do it all in one take and just do it like a voice note, like I said, but if you want to layer it up, it can be a really useful tool in thinking, okay, I don't have to be perfect this time around, then I'll go back and do that, then I'll go forward and do that, okay, maybe I'll come back and do the vocals, or I'll come back and do the guitar. So that was my little technical thing that I learned throughout this process.
What's a ghost track?
So the way it was explained to me is kind of, so we would play together. So either I'd be playing the guitar and singing, or he'd be playing the guitar and I'd be singing. You'd lay that down with a mic on the guitar and a mic on the voice, and then you can build up from there. So then when I wasn't there, he'd go back and he'd re-record the guitar in a different way that he wanted to, and maybe lay down some drums or whatever he wanted to do with it. And then next time I came in, I'd come in and I'd redo the vocals over the top of the new stuff that he'd laid down. And then it meant that you could do it however many times you wanted to.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was all a completely new process to me. Like I said, I'm so incredibly lucky to have him, because I'm just sitting there in my living room with a guitar and my voice, and that's it.
So should we give out his email address? Just get him flooded with advice as well?
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm trying to get him more involved in the community, because it's like, it's really not his, like, it's not his fandom. You know, he's got like D&D, and he does like a lot of theatre, and he has all of these wonderful things that I'm trying to say, you know, LeakyCon is changing, and like folk music, and there's so much of it to go around. So I think we're going to work a little bit more collaboratively after this album to try and make something more together and make something a bit different. But it's just great to have somebody who's like a fellow lover of music in my sort of circle of friends.
We've been hinting at this a lot, but what are you working on?
So the album is coming out. It's called The Battle, and it's had a few pushbacks because I've had a couple of health problems this last year. I've had a severely bad year for health, but it is going to come out now on the 7th of April, which I believe is a Bandcamp Friday. So that is on purpose, But I also want to say that it will be coming out on sort of Spotify and all of the other like iTunes and all of that, just so it's a little bit more maybe accessible if you don't want to download it from a Bandcamp perspective. And I also kind of want it to be, it's going to be free on Bandcamp as well, but with like a donation if you want to. But I'm totally it's not about that for me. I just want to get it out there, to be honest. I'm so excited for it to come out, and it should have been out in March, but we're going to go with that Friday, which is April the 7th.
I look forward to it.
Thank you.
So do you have like plans immediately after for the next thing, or are you going to rest a while on those laurels?
So I think I sent you and a couple of people some songs that were kind of not ready yet, but just to get like a kind of vibe of what people thought of them. And there's 2 that were on there that I've decided not to release as part of this album because I want them to be just singles, like later on down the line, maybe in a couple of months. So that'll just be something there. But I just really I think maybe I'll always be writing Wizard Rock. I'll just like, as soon as I put one down, like we said that we'd finished this album, and we were like, we started to record it, and then I wrote 2 more songs and they've gone into the album, and they're now like probably my 2 favorite songs on the album, which are Seventh Favorite Weasley Child and The Boy Who Saved. And Seventh Favorite Weasley Child came about because I went to LeakyCon Denver and saw Chris again after a number of years. We'd worked together a long time ago, and saw him again, and we caught up, and I was just like, and he said something like on the stage, he said something like, oh, it's everybody's 7th favorite Weasley Child, and I was just so incredibly inspired by that one line that I wrote an entire song around it. So when it's out, I'll probably have to send that to him. But yeah, just maybe a couple of months of not recording anything, but just singing in my living room, and we'll see how Chicago goes, because it'll be really nice to just see everyone.
It's time for our final music break. Here's MC Creature and Don't Touch That.
The House of Black was a palace once. Now I'm trapped making lunch for this mud-blood Brady Bunch.
I'm just trying to maintain, 12 Grimmauld Place, Black family name. Got Harry Potter, Order of the Phoenix Squatters, up in my face. Sirius Black back, acting like he owns the place. Welcome to the House of Black. Go ahead, make yourself at home and relax. Let me get your jacket, I'll help you unpack this. While I'm at it, I'll fix you a bath quick. If you need anything, just please ask it. Wait, I think I forgot your gift basket. If you haven't noticed, I'm sarcastic. Now hit the road, Jack, or you're leaving in a casket.
What right have you to drive us out? What right? Let me show you.
Just when you thought it was safe to break into my place and take everything but the drapes. Don't expect me to bake you a cake or smile in your face when I'm so full of hate. It's my house, my rules, I win, you lose. You need to move out, so find your shoes. And if you crying about being abused, it's old news. It's the story of my life, I got the scars to prove. I'm not the host with the most, got the least in fact. I'm like a ghost who floats like insomniacs. I see Regulus Black in dreams and flashbacks, and I scream out loud cause I think that he's back. But the fact is that Sirius Black is my master. That backstabbing bastard ran from Azkaban with the master plan, with the Order of the Phoenix hand in hand. Now it's a little bit presumptuous to show up to a house and just rummage it, yo. So I'ma do like Umbridge did and just lay down the law for these crummy kids. Here we go, first rule, just leave things where you see them. Act like the House of Black was a museum. Second rule, shut up, put your hands high up, so I know you're not stealing my stuff. The dishes in the kitchen and the pictures of witches and wizards, don't touch that. Stacks of old books and folded maps, the mold that's grown in the cracks, don't touch that. Doxies and the curtains, don't hurt them. Be polite to the spiders, don't touch that. The Black family tapestry, cabinets that are packed to capacity, don't touch that. The dishes in the kitchen and the pictures of witches and wizards, don't touch that. Stacks of old books and folded maps, the mold that's grown in the cracks, don't touch that. Doxies and the curtains, don't hurt them. Be polite to the spiders, don't touch that. The Black family tapestry, cabinets that are packed to capacity, don't touch that.
So step up if you wanna get hurt.
I'm I'm not trying to be inhospitable, but I'll admit I'm just a little irritable. I've hit my limit, you kids got me miserable. I'm not religious, but I'm praying for a miracle. Or maybe Tom Riddle will hit you with an unforgivable curse that leaves you in the care of a nurse in a world of hurt, covered in dirt, crying out for your mother or worse, trying to hail a hearse. I'm done being gracious, I'm losing my patience. Y'all didn't even call to make reservations. I'll pay you to take a vacation, a one-way ticket to faraway destinations. The dishes in the kitchen and the pictures of witches and wizards. Don't touch that. Stacks of old books and folded maps. The mold that's grown in the cracks. Don't touch that. Doxies and the curtains, don't hurt them. Be polite to the spiders. Don't touch that. The black family tapestry, cabinets that are packed to capacity. Don't touch that. The dishes in the kitchen and the pictures of witches and wizards. Don't touch that. Stacks of old books and folded maps. The mold that's grown in the cracks. Don't touch that. Doxies and the curtains, don't hurt them. Be polite to the spiders. Don't touch that. The black family tapestry, cabinets that are packed to capacity. Don't touch that.
You expect me to expel the arms. You think I'm soft like a king. There is no time to hate. I won't hesitate to make things go away. So listen, I'm over the angst, I'm over the scroll. I'm over this silly act of yours. I'm over the angst, I'm over the scroll. I'm sick of this act of yours. So come or go. You expect me to expel the arms. You expect me to expel the arms. You want me to expel the arms. You expect me to. You want me to. You want me to. I'm over the angst, I'm over the scroll. Do they know? I'm over the assumption they think I should believe. I'm all over the rules. It's so unimportant, so unimportant, so unimportant. You expect me to expel the arms. You expect me to expel the arms. You expel the arms. You expect me to expel the arms. You expect me to
the dark pockets burn. Take a step, eaters live again. Yes, we the house of Slytherin.
Down locks to the bud, no one throw the mark up. Tonight I'ma fight till they see the sunlight. Slither rock on the clock, but the party don't stop. Whoa, now, whoa, whoa, now, whoa, whoa.
Ain't got a care in the world, but got butter, beer. That's not a wand in my pocket, no, it's right here. And all the witches lining up, cause they hear we got swagger. But we kick 'em to the curb, unless they look like Miss Granger. I'm talking backing up my trunk, tree trumping up my junk, cause rapping has been too trunk. Now they go until we kick us out, or the whole rush us down. Rush us down, mystery shut us down.
Stir the pot, up or throw the mark up. Tonight I'ma fight till they see the sunlight. Slither rock on the clock, but the party don't stop. Whoa, no, whoa, whoa, no, whoa, whoa. Don't lock, stir the pot, up or throw the mark up. Tonight I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Slither rock on the clock, but the party don't stop. Whoa, no, whoa, whoa, no, whoa, whoa. We'll fuck you up, we'll take you down. With market burns, now they got you. With my mark up, put your marks up, put your marks up. We'll fuck you up, we'll break you down. My market burns, yeah, we got you. Put your marks up, put your marks up, put your marks up. Now all the Slytherins, we party like we're evil.
That was Don't Touch That by MC Creature, Room of Whatever and Come or Go, and The Cruciatus Curse with Slitherrock. Here's the final bit of my chat with Mia. Thank you so much for talking with me today. It's been really fun hearing a little bit more about your process and your journey.
Thank you for having me.
Where can WZRD listeners find you online?
So I've got Instagram, TikTok, and like Bandcamp and Spotify. The thing is, they're all a little bit different because some things allow you to have like dashes, some allow you to have underscores. So on Instagram, I'm rock with a W underscore NEWTs. And then on TikTok, I'm underscore NEWTs. And then on Bandcamp, because it doesn't allow you to have underscores, I am n-e-w-t-s.bandcamp.com, which I believe is still my Tumblr, not that I've been on it in a very long time. And NEWTs on Spotify as well.
If you heard a song today and thought, I could listen to that again, then go to the transcript at wzrdradiopod.com, follow the link, and buy a copy of your very own. It's the best way to support your favorite musician, and without our Wizard Rockers, we wouldn't be here. If you want discounts on WZRD merch, the inside scoop on everything that's coming up, and bonus gifts and episodes, then you want WZRD Radio's Patreon at patreon.com/WZRD Radiopod. It's just $2 Muggle a month and also supports the Yes All Witches grant as they give money and mentorship to queer and BIPOC Wizard Rockers. If you want to keep up with WZRD between episodes, You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at WZRD Radio Pod. If you don't believe in social media, you can also comment on the transcript or email me at wzrdradiopod@gmail.com. And now, here's NEWTs.
This song is called Mother Forgive Me, and it is a song from Draco's perspective. And let me just say, this is my love for Fan and Draco. I have to tell this little bit of the story because there is a point in it where the words are, "So I throw my wand and pray. Again, today he'll save the day." I don't know if anyone remembers this, but there was like a deleted scenes part of the last film where they had him, and I think he was like throwing his wand to Harry, and I loved that. I really loved that. I wish they'd kept it in. So do you know what? It's in my song. And this is my little ode to Draco.
Beating black just like my heart, a family thread, the darkest heart. He has spoken and I am chosen. 16 years, there goes my life. Not a chance I will survive. Is this where I start to play my part? But it's not like I had a choice. It's not like I had a voice. It's not like I had a reason to say no. I had one important task, a chance to prove my worth at last. And if I die at least in glory is how I'll go. Curse upon the innocent, a poison in another's hand. And I cannot bend what is broken. I'm staring at my reflection. The face I see is not my own. I am bleeding. Please just leave me. But it's not like I had a choice. It's not like I had a voice. It's not like I had a reason to say no. I have one important task, a chance to prove my worth at last. And if I die at least in glory is how I'll go. Mother forgive me, I think I failed. I'm trying to be thinking, I don't think I can go on, 'cause I am broken. My piece of the puzzle, it don't quite fit. The part of the story that I admit feels so wrong. I am broken, can't go back to the beginning. Spells and scars and right and wrong, a flash of green, a mother's song. And we're too young to be soldiers. I kneel before you, not quite sure. I recognize the boy before in my